When I started this trial, they didn't know. They didn't know how this drug was going to affect me. It was pretty ugly. I shook violently, I was throwing up, I had a terrible headache, I had a fever, all the ugliness. But all those things can be managed. You're not alone. There are people there that are supporting you, that are helping you, that are getting you through this. And while this drug may not save my life, maybe it's going to save the life of somebody else down the road, 5 years from now, 10 years, that I'm not even going to know. Even if it doesn't work for you, you're being part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Hi, my name is Dr. Amaya. I am a professor here at University of Colorado. I am a clinician and see patients in the Cancer Center, mostly patients that have leukemia. So clinical trials are essentially studies of new medications or new screening tests that we have for patients. So in our Cancer Center, we have studies where if we want to introduce a new medication for cancer care, then we have to test that drug in the patients.
The University of Colorado Cancer Center is here to help you understand what participating in clinical trials would look like. Clinical trials are studies that help healthcare teams and researchers understand the best ways to prevent, find, and treat diseases like cancer. Clinical trials help make sure medical procedures and medicines are safe and effective, and they help the healthcare system provide the best quality of care. Why is it important for clinical trials to include people from all backgrounds? Gender, race, ethnic origin, age, height, and your zip code all lead to different responses from the same medication or treatment. Cancer does not affect all groups of people the same way. Some factors you can change, but others you cannot. That is why it's important to have a variety of people involved in clinical trials.
And so there's different types of trials. One can be, for example, screening for cancer. So before it becomes part of the general public access, these screening tests have to be tested in patients to see if they work well. We can have treatment clinical trials, and then these clinical trials can essentially enroll patients for this drug to be tested at different doses to see which ones are safe and which ones are efficacious.
There are 4 different types of clinical trials. Prevention trials. Prevention trials look at disease risk and ways to reduce that risk. This could include learning more about lifestyle behaviors like healthy eating and exercise, pollution exposure, studying genetic factors through saliva or blood sample, and learning better ways to prevent cancer. Screening trials. They test new ways to find disease early when it may be more easily treated. This could include trying out a different type of mammogram, doing at-home screenings, and ultimately trying to find the easiest way to catch cancer at its earliest stage. Treatment trials. Test new treatments or new ways of using existing treatments. Some clinical trials will use treatments they know work well in one type of cancer to see if they work in a similar type of cancer. Some treatment clinical trials are testing out an entirely new treatment. Quality of life trials or supportive care test ways to improve the comfort and well-being of people with illness or disease. Quality of life clinical trials help us learn the best way to manage side effects from treatment, and can also include mental health support for caregivers to understand the best way to support somebody who has a loved one affected by cancer.
So clinical trials are really meant for anyone. So anyone that has that specific disorder that we're studying in the clinical trial can really participate on it. Once you enroll in a clinical trial, you're not obligated to continue in the clinical trial if you do not desire to participate in it anymore. So you can stop the clinical trial at any point during your enrollment.
I think cancer a lot of times tends to isolate us. It isolates us from our friends, from our family, even from ourselves. We want to get away from it, so we don't like to think about it. And I find a way to get out of that is to, at the infusion center, just go up to somebody, hey, how you doing? Hey, you want to grab a cup of coffee? Just to now start, instead of looking at me, start looking at other people. How can I make a difference in their lives? How can I help? Because there's so many people around me, doctors, nurses, clinicians, that are like, hey, we're here to help you. What do you need? How can I get involved in your life? How can I make a difference in your life right now? And all of a sudden you realize you're not alone and you can get through this.
protecting the rights and safety of participants. All clinical trials have an independent oversight committee that is checking in to make sure that patients remain safe throughout the time of the clinical trial. If a patient's safety is at risk, the committee will require immediate action and possibly shut down the clinical trial. All clinical trials require informed consent. Someone who is thinking about joining a clinical trial will review a document with a research staff member. This document will provide information for how long the study will be, what the assessments are for, and what they are, how long each assessment visit will take, how long your data will be stored, what the risks, benefits, and known side effects are, and, most importantly, the reminder that you can choose to withdraw from the study at any time.
So there are a lot of benefits to participating in a clinical trial. For example, some clinical trials can be on cancer screening, so you can have the ability to participate in a trial where cancer can be detected early and improve your survival. It also includes access to new medications that are not widely available to the public just yet. Clinical trials may have some risk associated with it. You may not directly benefit from the new treatment or the new detection. There's also, if it's a new treatment, you could experience some side effects that we don't know of, and then it may require just coming to the clinic a bit more frequently as well for more regular checkups. There are several misconceptions or myths to a clinical trial, one of them being whether patients get a placebo or a sugar pill. But this is never the case. Typically, standard of care is never compromised, and patients will get the standard of care plus the new treatment or not. Additionally, another misconception is that clinical trials are only available to people who don't have any other treatment options, and this is not the case. We have clinical trials at every stage of somebody's condition, so sometimes it can even be the first option and easy access to a new medication. Finally, there's one more misconception, and that is that patients need to stay on the trial once they enroll to finalize the trial, and this is not the case. Any participant or any patient can stop the clinical trial at any point.
The group of nurses and medical assistants and everybody else at the University of Colorado Infusion Center are amazing human beings. I mean, they get me through that. They care. They're people of character. They're people that care about you. They love you. They're in the fight with you. You're not by yourself.
How to find a clinical trial. First, talk with your doctor or healthcare team about what options may be available for you regarding clinical trials. You can call the 1-800 number, 1-800-4-CANCER, NCI's Cancer Information Service line. Here, they can answer questions, provide more information, and help you find a clinical trial if you'd like. They're available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Or visit clinicaltrials.gov for more information. The webpage has a database of any clinical trial going on in the United States. If you are a patient at UCH, you can use researchstudies.cuanschutz.edu to find out what clinical trials are happening on the Anschutz campus.